A warning for once. That's new.
Yeah, you got warning. Welcome to Practical Shooting After Dark. We're here to talk about shooting. On deck today, we got Mr. Kim.
Hello.
Got Mr. Hopkins.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Park.
Hello.
All these spectacular people here to talk about shooting. You guys know the deal. You come here with a topic, something fun to talk about, get the people going. And then we'll take some questions if we have time. Mr. Hopkins, you didn't want to go first, did you?
Yeah, dude, come on.
You're right. All right, Joel, what do you got?
I want to talk about how important directing your vision is as you were shooting a stage. It's something that I've been talking about a lot, I guess, the last couple of weeks when I've been doing to plug training group a little bit, doing reviews.
Set up about it, actually.
I know, this is true. So I guess kind of an example of how important it is like to watch your sights as you shoot. The timing when you stay on the sights when you're shooting a target. As soon as you get done shooting that target, you need to move your vision to the next, target, the next thing you're going to do. You don't want to pull your vision off while you're shooting. So like timing of doing those types of things. Think about I don't know, you shouldn't follow your sights as you transition the gun between targets. You lead with your eyes and the sights follow. Think about maybe you're running up to a fault line, a really tight position. You look down on the ground, you pick out a precise spot, and then that's going to tell you where you're going to go, as opposed to just having the gun up and you kind of fumble around to find your spot. Or maybe you're transferring the gun, you look down specifically to make sure you put the gun in your other hand. So I just think that's something, even in my own dry fire, that I could give you a ton more examples, but in my own dry fire, I just kind of found myself really paying close attention to my vision, and specifically what I'm doing with it in very specific tasks. So reloading the gun, hey, where do I need to look? What do I need to be looking at? When I'm moving the gun around, what should I be looking at? And I think it's really important because when you shoot, you obviously lead with your eyes. So when you're running around looking for a position, oftentimes, not in all positions, but you need to look down and pick a precise spot you're going to go to. So I just think people miss the boat on that sometimes. I think stuff I've been coaching people in training group where they, maybe they don't think about that. Think about the task at hand or the skill they're trying to do, but they don't really think about how important vision is specifically.
Can I give a specific example that maybe you'll want to elaborate on, Joel?
Sure.
So many people during a walkthrough for a stage, they'll see some targets. In USPSA, it's usually an array of targets, but they'll be okay, I'll look at a spot on the ground during the walkthrough, and they'll look at some targets and I'm going to shoot this stuff from there. And that's about the limit of how much planning or thought goes into that section of a stage. Whereas if you are in tune with your vision, you're paying attention to how much you should be looking around. You'll look at a spot on the ground and be okay, when I'm done over here, I'm going to look over there at that spot, and that's where I'm going to run to. And then you'll look at a particular point on each target during the walkthrough and be I'm going to shoot that spot and that spot and that spot and that spot over there in this order. And they practice look there, look, and then they'll look away to the next thing, which would be the next thing that they have to go to or move to or shoot or whatever the hell they have to do. Is that a fair example?
I agree 100%. Well said. Yeah, yes. And what you said on targets, not looking at the big brown thing, but finding the perforated, maybe the letter A on the target or where it would be, or on a partial, a very precise spot where you want the sights to go, because your eyes are going to lead. Or even think about people you do a table pickup stage. Sometimes people are looking at the first target and they just kind of glance down. Oh, I guess the gun's on the table, and they kind of pick it up. Maybe they fumble with it. Well, they're really focused really hard on where that first target's going to be. And instead, I'm staring at that gun super intently. Once once you get the buzzer goes off, I'm very carefully positioning where the gun's at in my hand, making sure I pick it up properly, I have the right grip, and then my vision goes to where the first target is. So, yeah, it's super important. I think it's
super important. All right.
I think it's the number one thing in the sport, how fast you can see stuff.
Yeah.
Because it means how fast you can process shooting, seeing your sights lift and everything, and moving to the next target. I think that as a shooter progresses in the sport, their vision speeds up.
Yeah, I think leading with your vision is important. Yesterday, I was watching a YouTube video of somebody reloading with the eyes focused on the target while initiating the reload. Not able to consistently.
Yeah.
That's been I don't know when this will air, but that's been one of the current things where the Instagram guys are like doing blinded reloads or whatever, or
What?
arguing versus like look at the target versus the like look at the gun.
All right. I mean, is this competitive shooters are arguing, or this is a tactard argument?
I mean, it's a tact hard argument, but the competitive shooters are getting involved.
Okay. This is a bit of an aside, Matt, but didn't that whole like competitive shooting versus tactard thing that got hammered into the dirt about a decade ago?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, but when any new tactard comes on the market, like they gotta fucking beat up on competition shooters because that gets the biggest views.
Does it?
Fuck yeah, man! Come on. You think how many people like name pro super shooter with 1 million followers everywhere says to look at the gun, and then you put up a video saying that superstar shooter is lying, you should look at the target, like that's gonna get views.
That's true.
I don't know of many like superstar shooters that have big followings for the gun community. You know what I mean?
No, hardly any do.
Yeah.
And the ones that do are a certain gender.
Tell me more,
What are you trying
Matt.
to say? What are you trying to say, Matt?
Women get more views than men, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to elaborate on.
How dare you, sir?
Because then Joel wouldn't be able to talk the whole rest of the podcast.
Oh my. What is a good way? Like, women are afforded quite a lot of attention in shooting sports. This is true.
It's in general. Like, it's not just shooting sports. It goes the whole gamut. If you want to go down a God damn it, you guys. If you want to go down a mind fuck of like how bad other like sports are, go down like the fishing or the bow hunting. You'll see how how it's common across all activities, not just shooting.
Yeah, no, if you have like a male dominated sort of activity, then you have a girl in there that's like
100%, dude.
just
And it's
a
actually
regular-
probably very mild in the shooting if you go looking.
Yeah, it's kind of like not cool in some circles in shooting. Like SHOT Show doesn't like having any like they don't like the booth babe thing, right?
Well, that it used to, but like not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll spare the aside. I've totally forgotten where we were though.
Ben, you had a topic
Joel
you wanted
went.
to share with us.
Yeah. No, let's have Fonsic go.
Yeah.
So he'll
Okay. So I talked about reloading just for a second. I'm going to continue a little bit. So my topic is one of the common thing I've been telling in our training group was about the reloading, how some people needs to change the perspective a little bit to make the reload consistent. So one thing is, yes, doing like a 1 second fast reload in a classifier style, like standing up straight situation is a little bit different than when you start moving around, especially when your body orientation changes. So for example, you're reloading in between Y transition, or you're moving, retrieving. Whenever your body turns, your body center, body orientation is changing, and oftentimes the gun position or the magwell angle changes too. So first, I tell people to actually think in terms of looking through the magwell as if you have the slide took off from the gun. Then you can see through the grip where the magwell is actually pointing at. So in that case, you can definitely look through the magwell and then look towards the mag pouch rather than side berm or your foot when the magazine is trying to insert. So magazine coming up and magwell looking down has to match in order to have the smooth insertion. There's no doubt about it. So in order to do that, I tell people, hey, just try to think in terms of actually looking at the magwell direction. So as if you're looking through the grip all the time, and you should be looking at the mag pouch area, and the magazine should coming out of the mag pouch and go straight into the magwell. So there's two things this will fix. One thing is magwell not facing the direction towards the mag pouch. So the magwell angle, grip angle may be wrong. And the second one is if the grip angle was, let's say, looking at the side berm or 90 degrees, then you have to get the mag out of the mag pouch and bring it up and change the direction to the side because your grip was facing sideways rather than diagonal towards the magwell. That kind of makes sense. So then now you have to change the magazine coming up in terms of direction. It's going to be going around to the magwell, or you go up in 90 degrees angle. So it's no longer a straight path to the magwell, which is not best path, not an efficient path. You want to come out of the pouch, go straight to the magwell. So I've been telling, having the gun in the center of the chest is the ideal situation. That's what we do when we, stand up straight and only do the reload without movement or rotating your body around. But once you start moving around, some cases, keeping the gun in the center chest may not be as possible because if you're doing reload and transition 180 to the other side, you have to rotate your body and trying to keep your gun in the center perfect, which means you're rotating your gun at the same time. When your gun is also rotating with your body, it's not going to be easy to insert at the same point. So basically developing that angle where the grip is facing, like I said, if you take the slide off and looking through it, it should be always pointing straight to the mag coming in to the magwell.
So Mr. Kim,
that's good. Yeah.
Can I tell you a story?
Mm-hmm.
It's a story about dry fire. I was doing some today, and I'll say that every reload that I missed was because of the grip angle, my magwell not pointed in the right spot, and I can't think of another reason that I missed them today. Yeah. I mean, it's something that I'm on, but that's my most frequent correction for myself, is where I'm always trying to make that better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. No, like what Kim's saying, that just makes life so much easier. Because otherwise, if you're holding the gun at a different angle and you have to bring the magazine out of the pouch and then bring it up or angle it a different way, it just makes your life so much tougher than if you, like what Kim's saying, you just hit the button, you bring the gun down to a point, it's pointed at the magazine pouches, you just bring the magazine out, it's like it's pointing right at the gun. I guess I'll just shove this in the gun, and then you just go back to work. It makes life so much easier, and it's like you said, it's less room for error that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way it was explained to me when I was starting shooting, and I didn't come up with this or anything, Phil Strader did, was it's a straight line. So make sure it's a straight line from your mag pouch to your magazine well. You don't want to have any deviations off of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I go now, guys?
Yeah.
Like it a
I
lot.
really want to rule it bad. Okay. So I want to talk about draw speed, and this is because I've been doing lots of dry fire lately, just like probably all of us have, except for maybe Matt, but the rest of us have been doing a lot of dry fire.
I actually have been.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm happy
I
for you,
fired
Matt.
more than my whole career.
Oh,
In the last
nice.
month?
In the last 2 months.
Wow.
I started on February 29th.
Well, that's good. Okay. So I want to talk about how your draw speed matters a lot, kind of simultaneously doesn't matter. You're ready to get into this?
Yes.
Okay. So
I heard Instagram Live about this, so I'm very interested.
you did? It wasn't from me, right? I don't
It was
do
not
Instagram.
from you.
Oh, okay. So at the beginning of a big stage, so let's say you see somebody going to shoot a 32-round field course, I would agree. It doesn't really matter a whole lot whether their first shot is 115 or 130 or 0.9 seconds. There's not a lot in it, right? Doesn't really matter. I'm sure we'd all sign off on that's not individually a big time sink. However, I think your draw speed matters a lot in the context of shooting sports. And
I think I know where you're going with this. Tell me more.
yeah, well, you probably do know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you acquire a target in your vision, you draw onto it, you get a sight picture on it that's acceptable, and then engage it. You're kind of like you're going through that whole cycle. Acquire a target in your vision, put the gun on that target, and shoot it. So how fast you can do that is basically your transition speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's extremely important because you have so many target transitions stacked up over the course of a stage. If you think about it that way, your draw is basically just another transition, but a complicated one, but it's just a transition. Acquire a target, grip the gun properly, put the gun on the target. That's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
In the
after you acquire the grip, right? It's a transition.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a transition with more stuff.
But they're very related skills, is what Ben's getting at, and I agree completely.
Absolutely. So, like if you're running to a position to engage a target, let's say you have only one hand on the gun. At the end of that movement, you're going to acquire a two-handed grip on the gun, put the gun between your eye and the target, and engage the target. You know what I mean? So, if you think about it in this way, your draw speed is really, really important. And I would say draw speed is strongly correlated with how fast you are on stages. So that is to say that most people I know that are very, very good and fast shooters are fast at drawing. But there's a caveat in that, and that's the way you'd measure somebody's draw. It's not the fastest draw you could put down. So your personal best draw is not really that relevant. It's not a very good measurement for how fast you are drawing. So what I mean by this is, we've all done it. Well, I think we've all done it. You put a target at 5 yards and go super fast, kind of pushing the bounds of safety even to see how fast you can land a bullet anywhere on that brown target. We've all done this, I think.
Of course.
And get to like incredible times, like in the high 50s, like just over half a second you could do that. But that's not a very good way to measure it because you're not really getting a proper sight picture, a proper grip, you're not really doing it in it's a luck based way to do it. A better way to measure it is to see how consistently you're drawing, good grip on the gun, sight picture, and engaging and shooting an accurate shot. So let's say if we did it at 10 yards, drawing and shooting pairs of shots over 10 repetitions or something, that'd be a way better way to measure it. You guys with me so far?
Yep.
So if you're measuring your draw in that sort of way, you'll come up with a number. And I would say that very strongly correlates to how quickly people shoot stages for this reason. And,
I agree completely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how refutable that is. Does this line up with the Instagram live you heard, Matt?
He his computer crashed. He just messaged me, and he's
Jesus
restarting.
Christ. Bummer. Whatever. That sucks anyway. Well, that was the extent of my point. So this was the reason this I was thinking about this a lot is because I've been doing a lot of really fast draws and dry fire, and instead of doing the thing where I'm seeing how fast I can possibly pull the gun out of the holster and grip it, I'm setting up tighter shots. So like, hey, how fast can I get a sight picture reliably on a simulated 25-yard target? I mean, that's a more interesting question for me at this point. So that's what I was training on a lot, and I found that very interesting. And the reason I was doing it is because the aforementioned your draw speed being strongly correlated with your shooting speed. What do you think about that, Matt, now that you're back?
I think it's interesting. I've never thought about it in a transition aspect, but what I heard on the live did not go the same way as that. It was kind of like a tip that I've never heard before. That was very interesting. I don't know if I should it was the very last aspect, how they talked about when the hands come together, like the non-trigger hand, so the
non-dominant hand.
Yeah, like pops the gun, and that's where you get the speed coming out.
Oh, I listened to that one too.
Yeah. It was. I thought it was interesting. I haven't tried it or looked at it or anything, but I thought it was very interesting. What do you think, Kim? Since you heard it.
Well, he has multiple background in terms of competition. He used to shoot Steel Challenge, and in Steel Challenge, the draw speed really matters way more than IPSC, USPSA. So in his case, I thought that was interesting. But when I was just imagining it, picking up the speed from the middle part. So when your grip is meeting and to your full presentation, I generally focus more on precise stop on your eye line. So you're completely ready to shoot as soon as the gun reaches your eye line. However, if you like yank the gun so fast, the gun will wobble when it stops, typically in your eye line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
in
don't
that
like
case, I don't like that. That's not as consistent at a longer distances, which you find, more in IPSC, USPSA.
Yeah. It's like the last third of the draw too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make up a lot of time there from what
But usually I'm not accelerating the gun on the last third.
Right.
It's like slowing to a stop. It's not. I'm not like when I'm 2/3, the gun's 2/3 the way up. I'm not thinking like, let's hammer the accelerator and do this part faster. I'm like more going towards the brake pedal.
Control. Yeah, control.
I don't know if that makes any difference, but the specific example, he's using mainly open division, so the gun is exceptionally heavier too. I don't know if that's gonna make any difference between plastic, but I think it may. Yeah.
It does.
It was just
by the way, he's a very built person. So in terms of muscle, I don't have that much of a stopping power than him, I think.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Ben, I like your topic.
Is it Matt's
I got
turn?
topic, yeah. So we're in the midst of all this coronavirus. Everybody's like sheltered in place, stuck in their house, not able to get out.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I'm living my best life here doing dry fire.
I'm just saying, like, this is a different kind of world than what we've had in the past. And everybody has been going live. So there's been a lot of different shooters go live. I'm going to talk about one that is not technically USPSA, but I thought it's carrying over, I guess. So Vincent Hancock.
What are you talking about specifically? Like Instagram live stuff?
Yeah, just how it's changing how people are doing stuff. So people aren't being able to go to classes, so they have time to get on and basically engage with their fans, right?
I think people are just bored. And it probably is more of like a fan service thing rather than like a educational thing.
No, 100%. I think that's what I was going to get to. Like it's a great time for everybody right now to engage with their fans or their following or whatever. And like there's been like up to, I think there were like there's been like 4 live feeds from like USPSA type shooters today. And I think you guys talked to Gaston about it on the.
Gaston's up my ass to do a live thing. Which he'll probably talk me into it. I have zero interest in the live bullshit, but
it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty neat.
It's neat for what?
It's neat for people that haven't done like podcasts where they have like a weekly thing going out. It's the main people that are doing it are the people that are, I'd say, active on social media, but not like don't engage with their fans and stuff as much.
Well, yeah, for me, like I don't want a fandom personally.
Yeah, but they don't answer questions weekly like you do on the podcast. That somebody emails you in, like there's a pretty good chance you're going to answer. Mm-hmm. Like this gave the format for people to do that for other people. But Vincent Hancock was talking about his Olympic shooting, and it was just very neat that the manufacturer like let him take over their page and do the live on there. Like it helped the shooter because he could like go to all the Beretta fans out there and talk to them. Like they had a way bigger following than the actual shooter did. And then like all the people that can do it, like I learned something for our sport. About what, like he's a Olympic skeet shooter, I think. He's an Olympic shotgun shooter, and I learned something for our sport on it. But I think it's very neat. The problem is they don't get saved a lot, so you got like 24 hours if you don't catch them
watch
live.
them before they go away. Yeah.
And it's been actually hectic trying to watch all the ones I wanted to. So like I've fallen behind on podcasts and like YouTube and stuff just to try to stay up with those. I think it could change how we do, like what happens like later on after this. Maybe it changes how all these shooters are gonna like present to their fans or talk about like straight to their fans. I think it's a different. So just like working from home with all this COVID thing, like more businesses are going to be apt to letting people work from home now after they were forced to.
I think this depends on the business.
Well, yeah, but
would you say your business is keen to have people do more work from home there, Joel?
Probably not. Dude, you ping somebody, you like send them an IM or an email, maybe you hear back like 45 minutes later. It's like I'm like hitting up their manager. I'm like, where is this person? Like, I need this done. People are nowhere to be found.
My theory is that there's a split between sort of white collar, like all professionals, like people. If it's all like tech geeks that are doing computer programming, they're fine working from home. But if it's like people who don't do jobs like that, they're a nightmare. That's my theory. We'll see.
I think it depends on the person. Like you could get real lazy and just sit there and watch TV and be like logged in, but just say fuck it.
Yes, it depends on the person, Matt.
I've found it. I'm way more productive here. Like I am getting just as much or more done here, and I think less of the time. So
you don't get bothered.
Done by myself, for sure.
Yeah, the botherness. Yeah, every time someone walks by, you lose time.
Okay. Well, interesting, Matt. What was your take? So, you think the live
I think it's
feed
good.
stuff-
I think it should continue. I'd like to see more people do it.
And
Yeah.
I think it's really neat. I think
Gaston
it's
is
an
doing.
interesting way to present.
Who sits there and watches these live? I've always wondered, like, who's sitting here and watching like an
Dude, they're getting
hour-long-
hundreds of people watching.
I watch.
So do
I
I.
watch Gaston's both Spanish.
Could you understand it?
No, he actually did both translation. One thing
okay.
really cool about Gaston's podcasts or live interviews, he actually did both English and Spanish.
Yeah, Gaston's doing pretty good. I've been watching his too.
His questions
okay.
He's
were-
just
Gaston had
bored.
Aeropon, so it was very interesting.
Yeah.
It's in like an hour-long like kind of podcast type thing, but you only get 50% of it because it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, fantastic topic, Matt. I'm happy for you. All right. Should we do a question, guys?
I always find one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ben, yesterday I tried the go stop drill with a plate rack and one shot, or plate if you want, per position. It's differently interesting than the drill with paper. Wanzik, pay attention to this. This is your drill, baby. Of course, with only 6 plates on the typical rack and 4 positions, either you have to shoot the first plate from the second position or skip the last run. If you got them all, okay, this is kind of irrelevant. All right. Either you have to shoot the first plate from the second. None of this really matters. So he was talking. In his question, he's like, maybe you'll have to do a penalty run to go pick up a plate that he fired a shot on that missed. But this is not really germane to the question. So here's his question: do you all find much training value in if you fuck up, you have to do this extra thing drills training solo? So what he's talking about is a drill that requires a lot of movement, and if he fires a shot at a plate and misses, he'll have to run more in order to take another shot at the plate. Okay? And then the question is this a good idea when you're training by yourself? I get it for multiple people to boost pressure, but I don't get the same effect alone. What do you guys say? So like maybe you're doing a drill and if you fuck up, you got to do push-ups or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just the specific example is kind of irrelevant, but what do you think?
It's only as good as what like you're going to hold yourself accountable for. Like if you say you missed the plate, you got to run an extra thing.
Have any of you guys tried this sort of thing?
I do not specifically like that, but if I'm doing a drill and let's say I'm missing the draw or the reload, I will get quite angry. And then I'll like kind of calm down. It's like, okay, I have to do 5 of them perfect before I'm done. I don't care if this takes an hour. Like,
so you turn into like Rage Monster Joel?
Yeah, well, after I calm down. So I'm not like doing it like faster is not going to. It's like, what's the problem? What am I doing wrong? It's like, okay, I need to prove to myself I can do this correctly. I need to do 5 perfect draws, getting the perfect grip before I'm done. I'm not just going to be defeated, kind of. So it's kind of different, but I do something along those lines, I guess.
Okay. And what do you think about that, Joel?
Well, I think it forces me to, if I'm missing my draw, as opposed to just quitting and being like, well, whatever, I'm irritated now. Locating what the problem is specifically that's causing that for me has been helpful. Where it's like, well, I'm not snapping my hand on the right spot on the gun, or my support hand's a problem, or whatever it is. It causes me to analyze what I was doing wrong, look at it more carefully under magnifying glass, and then a little bit for that is just not feeling defeated. I don't want to feel like there's anything I can't do. So maybe that's like the self-talk, self-image type of thing, maybe more than learning a skill.
Yeah,
But
you're always leaving on a positive note.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I don't want to leave practice like, man, I can't do draws anymore, and then have that in the back of my mind until the next time I do dry fire or reload the gun or whatever it is. So I don't know if it's directly related to what he's talking about, but that's something.
I think it is. I can say that from personal experience, if I have to do some physical thing after a mistake on a drill, it just makes me tired. Like, I'm already pissed off. It doesn't really affect me. It's just a thing I have to do. I agree with them. I don't like the other people watching or other people there with me, and like the competitive element would be more interesting than just having to do stuff for me. What do you say, Mr. Kim?
I think it depends on the person a little bit. So according to my wife, I'm not as gracious to myself when it comes to practice and seeing improvements. I mean, like Joel explained a little bit about getting pissed off and stuff. And I personally grew up in, Asian culture where you get beat the heck out of if you drop your exam score at school, or you be loud or be rude, you get smacked or you get beat up by teachers.
Wait, they still do the hitting in Korea?
Not after smartphone. When smartphone came out,
When it was getting videoed?
Yes, everybody was getting videos of it and uploaded. So they don't do any physical punishment anymore. But when I was in school, there was physical punishment a lot, like even getting slapped at, stuff like that. So I personally do not need punishment per se. I give myself punishment in a sort of way. Not in terms of like, go another rep, but in terms of, F word kind of thing. Like getting upset, basically. So
what F word?
I knew you were going to say that. Leave him alone, Ben.
All right.
Yeah, okay. But if the person is just not really caring about your performance or improvement much, and you keep making repeated mistake, and you just don't really try to fix that, then yes, waking yourself up by punishing yourself can actually be a good idea to boost your discipline. That's my thought. And in terms, just wanted to tell this guy, doing a plate rack is not the best idea because you cannot keep a track of the shot pattern as well. Paper helps better to analyze your shot pattern because you can easily cheat this drill by just arrive the position without really stabilizing your body. You can just yank a shot on the plate and you can be lucky enough to shoot. So do paper.
Do you have an individual target on each stop?
Yes. Depends on the directions. If you're going back and forth, then you just shoot on one single paper target. But if you're doing sideways, you can either have 2 to 4. Depends on the number of stops.
Yep, I get it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the beatings will continue until morale improves. So I mean, that works for some people, and some people it's not a good idea. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all right. Do we have any business stuff to talk about? I think we do. So first things first, if you go to benstickerproshop.com, if you are in the market for a optics ready Tanfolio, I think the shop got 10 or 20 of them.
Oh, nice.
Which I imagine
Are they from the factory?
What?
They're from Tanfo? Cut already?
We didn't fucking build them.
Yeah,
I don't know if you did.
Oh no, yeah, we didn't cut them. Like, yeah, they come from Tanfolio.
Nice.
That way. Optics ready.
That's good.
I mean, yes. I'm curious what the price is. Optics ready. Stock 2 optics ready. Okay, they're listed at $12.50, and they seem all right. Yeah, so they're there. they're ready to go, and they look nice, look super duper. If you're in the market for that, also Match Mentality, the award-winning. No, it's not. It hasn't won any awards.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any awards to it. We could start like the Park Center for Children Who Want to Read Good book award or something.
Want to read good? Yes, that sounds great.
And then it could be an award-winning like coloring book if you want. You can just make an organization and give yourself an award if you want, Joel.
Sounds like a tax write-off. Yeah.
It would be a tax write-off. But anyway, Amazon shut that bullshit down. Amazon shut down shipping books essentially.
To add some color, they were about 3 weeks out for quite a while, where anything you ordered was 3 weeks out.
Yeah, and so obviously nobody was buying books. Amazon raised the price and stopped shipping them expeditiously. So the digital release for Match Mentality is now out. So you can get that on Kindle from Amazon and not have to wait for shipping. And Amazon, it appears, has sorted out the shipping issue. So if you want Match Mentality and you don't have it, and you were one of there was a lot of people that I think looked at the ship times for that and were like, yeah, fuck this, I don't want it. Yes, that has been sorted. So you can get it digitally. Amazon's back to shipping it again, and the Pro Shop has them and is shipping them. So if you want one, want a copy of it, you can get one of those ways. And there should be a digital version populating the iBooks store as well at some point in the future, but that it's kind of out of my hands at this point. I've done everything I can on my end to make that happen. So we'll see how long it takes. I don't know, given the current fucking virus issue. Apparently nothing can happen on time now. Anyway, that's the deal. That's the business stuff. So that's all I got. Anybody else have anything? No?
If you want training guidance while you can't escape your house, Training Group is a quite good resource for that also, by the way. I
should say, yeah, so the training group, kind of the test. Have you been watching that, Mr. Kim?
Yes.
What do you think about Oh yeah, so a lot of the bronze guys have gotten Joel or Steve Newell, maybe in some cases both, I don't know, to look at their footage. And yes, that is going on too. So if you, I think it'll be another maybe 3 weeks from the time you hear this. If you are a training group member who doesn't get your footage looked at because you don't pay the money for it, you can have Joel or Steve Newell look at your footage without paying for it for a few more weeks. So there you go. You should take advantage of that while you can. Yes. That's it. That's all we got, right?
I think that's it.
All right. If you have a question, go to bensager.com. Send us your questions, and we'll be happy to talk about them.